Okay, so I posted a video. I think like in the middle of the night. And I got it from IA video. Okay, so this is something that I'm just now realizing exists. I've always wanted to make my own cartoons. And I, I figured that this will give me something to do. I'm actually thinking about spending the $250 a month for the Google one because I really don't know what I'm walking into. All I know is that was only one sentence to create the video that I wanted, and it was great. That's exactly what I wanted. In the castle, okay. Yoda drop. I mean, I wanted him to be dropping apples, but I mean, they were falling on the ground and they were infested with worms. And then I wasn't expecting the second Yoda to come in, so that was like golden. All right, so that I mean that cartoon really fucking every time I play it, it's just like that's some crazy shit, right? Because that's literally what was in my head when I wrote it. All right, and it was only like one sentence long. Okay, so when I watch other people do this, and again, I'm just now discovering this last night. Um, when I see other people doing it, I mean, they're just like, typing like a whole fucking paragraph. All right, so nonetheless. Okay, so as I'm drinking on my homemade juice here, which is my vegetable juice with an apple, we are going to say. Okay, so these are the cables that I will be using. Okay, all right, and there's actually these right here. Okay, now let's go to the site and see if I can make it bigger. And probably not. Okay, there we go. Not bad. Oh man, of all sites was just that easy. All right, so now first of all, I'm going to move the microphone. Alright, let's get that done now. Okay. Make sure I don't touch the back. Heaven forbid. Alright, and turn on these routers. Okay, and blow my annoying nose once again. Okay. And what I want you to see, if because it's not written on this particular cable, but I'm showing you this in case you actually get a network module with 8 serial cables and you want to connect them like I am. Okay, just keep this in mind. You have one router, okay, that has 8 ports to it. Okay, now of course, you're going to have to actually either have actually, okay, this one actually has what I'm looking for right here. Okay, so they're going to have to be cables like this. Okay, these are 2 cables. Okay, actually it looks like he's gotten one cable and has used Photoshop to put another cable, the cable ends in the middle of this. So this is actually one cable that's looped around here, and you'll notice that you'll see a DTE and a DCE. Okay, now this was back in the day a real cable that you would use to hook up. Now the DCE side of the cable, okay, is the side that is always going to the ISP. Okay, because the ISP is only going to allocate you a certain speed. Okay, and the DCE side of the cable or of the connection is where the clocking is put on the actual configuration. That clocking determines the speed of your transmission, okay? And the DTE is the receiver of that speed, okay, which goes to your side of the connection, go into the router. All right. Okay. Obviously, they're not gonna let you. You know, the ISP's not gonna let you control the clocking. Okay. So now, um, let us, because the damn cable once again. I mean, the microphone once again is interfering with my vision of the taskbar. Okay. And having the monitor all the way up makes me raise my neck. So that's just another problem I have to solve later on. All right. So let's click on these. Okay, so now, remember, we're going to daisy chain these, okay? Alright, so we're going to have router 1, router 2, router 3, and router 4. Okay, in my notepad, I should have the configurations already made for these routers. Okay, and yes, I do. Now this one is actually, yeah, that's spelled correct incorrectly. Okay, so I was gonna say, why would you give me a red underline if I can't change the spelling? All right, so two of them are not coming up, and I want to know why. Do I have another? Now I gotta rock my head back and forth to look at the taskbar. Okay, do I not have? Okay, there we go. All right. Okay, so now let's actually copy this. Copy. All right. Wrong spelling means wrong syntax. Okay, and it'll fail. Okay, so. Alright, so now you see we have our enable command, config T, no IP domain lookup, line console, longer synchronous, no exact timeout, and now we got to do our serial interfaces. Why is this not coming on, man? Okay, you know what? I think I was having this problem before, so let's leave that. Let's just. I'm probably gonna have to replace that router. All right. Okay, I sound frustrated with this as far as the stuff's not working, but you gotta understand. Okay, I bought these things decades ago. Okay, and when I say decades, it's only been. I mean, guys, I've only been in the field for 15 years, so I've seen my decades, but these things are over 10 years old. Okay, all right, and they've been sitting in the unconditioned garage for years. Okay, so I mean, what do I expect? Okay, they serve their purpose. So first of all, okay, so these are just serial. Serial 00 and no, serial 10. Okay. All right, let's copy this. Copy. Serial 11. Okay. All right, and this is going to be serial 10. Okay, now it's not 00 because it's in a module, and our module is 1. It's literally telling you the location and which port we're actually utilizing. So reading it, we could tell that we're in module 1. Okay, so remember, I'm going to set the DCE side of the cable. Okay, and here's the thing, I got 8 of them. So the command I'm going to use is show controllers serial 10. Okay, and now, all right, notice it says no cable. Okay, all right, so I am going to plug in the DCE of this interface here. Okay. All right, this takes a little effort. You gotta kind of wiggle it in there. All right. Show controllers, and now you see it says it's a DCE cable, meaning that I put it in the right slot. Okay. All right. Now, if I didn't, it would still send no cable, and I would have to move this over to another port to find out which one is port 10. And it's not even screwing in. So you know what? Just forget it for right now. Let me stand up here. Like I said, you got to wiggle it and get these screws aligned before they start screwing in. And don't screw them in actually, like over tight. Just you don't want it to fall off. It's not the fact that you're trying to hang it from the ceiling. Okay, so now going to this one, router 2, which will be the DTE side. Sometimes it's hard to get these screws started, and that's because you don't have it in straight. So, all right. Show controllers. Serial 10. Okay, and you can see that's a DT side of the cable. So, now. Alright, so now I'm going to go in here and I'm going to say clock rate. Alright, and I'm just going to say 9600, I guess. Okay, now, for you guys who are so obsessed with speed in your lab, okay, and have to go to the maximum number, guys, it's irrelevant. Okay, I don't care how fast my paints get there, as long as they get there. Okay, so okay, now we're down. Okay. Alright, and that's because interface 010, no shut. And then we're going to actually, alright, you see that it actually came up. Okay. Alright, on both sides. I can't spell to save my life at this moment. Alright, so I'm going to say default interface 010. Default interface 010. Okay, so now because I did that, all right, interface 010 do show IP interface brief. Oops. Okay, you see that the protocol is down, and that's because I took clock rate off. Clock rate 9600. Okay. Give it a minute. Notice that the protocol changed to the up status. Okay, so that connection is done. Okay, notice how I am not just plugging them in and doing stuff. Okay, I'm doing it step by step because I've done this 1,000 times. Okay, so I want to make sure it's accurate. So now we're going to go into SA10. I mean, S111. All right, let me say that again. S11. Okay. Now we're going to go over to here. mouse, man. All right, so default interface serial 11. Okay. Do show controllers serial 11. See that is a DC cable, okay, which I just plugged in. Interface serial 11. All right, clock rate 9600. Okay, and now, okay, we go into here. We'll make that change in a minute. Default interface serial 11. All right, let's plug this into router 3 to 11. Okay. All right. Okay. Don't think that screws in, but you know what? I don't care. Okay, so now. Okay, so now let's go back to our notepad here. Okay. And let's go ahead and copy. Okay, so that's going to be serial 10. Okay, hold on. No. That's it. So that's just going to be, first of all, that's router 1. 1 to 1. Router 2. 0 S1. Okay, and then router 3 is going to be just S1. Alright, and then this is nothing. Okay, so now how I do things is router 1 and router 2 is going to be, the connection going to there is always going to be on the 12 network. Okay. Okay, that third octet tells you the routers that were in between. So that means SA01 over here too is on the 12 network. It's 12.2, 12.1. Okay, does that make sense? All right, so let's go ahead and copy this. Let's go to router 2. Alright, let's go to router 3. Okay, so now okay, so we're up. Okay, what happened here? Oh, okay. My bad. So, stop. Come on. Default interface FAO0, FAO1, and that's kind of weird because they're changed. Oh, you know what it was? It probably was already on there. Because I got some configurations on here. And it probably errored out. So let's go ahead and copy this again, which we're going to be re-sending commands that we've already set, but doesn't matter. Okay, so there's our EIGRP summary. Okay, so which is good. Our EIGRP. Now this says is not common subnet for S11. Okay, so that means we're trying to form a neighbor. And one of the things about EIGRP is there are rules and regulations for adjacencies. Okay, use your documentation. All right, because if I was going to give you an exam for EIGRP, one of the things that I would do is make you troubleshoot why the adjacency is not coming up. Remember, we got to be in the same autonomous system, and we have to be in the same K values for each device. We have to have a direct connection, okay, a point-to-point connection, and we got to be in the same subnet. So do show IP interface brief. Okay, so 12, 23, 21 is not on the same subnet. So do show IP interface brief. Okay, there's my problem. Okay, so interface S11 IP address 192.168.23.2. And there's our JC. Okay, so host router 3. Let's go ahead and save this config. That means we got adjacencies all the way around. That means router 1 should see the routes for 2.2.2.2 and 3.3.3.3. Okay? Alright, now we can actually say do show our IP route, EIGRP. Alright, and it's only going to bring those up. Okay, so now you see that we do have the 2.2.2.2, but not the 3.3.3.3. So now, is there IP EIGRP interfaces, okay, and it's being advertised. FA00 should not be advertised. So yeah, so let's go ahead and default interface FA00. Okay. All right, and now let's take a look again. Now that's funny. Do show IP interface brief. 1. Okay. Do show IP EIGRP neighbors. Okay, and we have both neighbors. Okay. What's going on? Do show IP route. We have D routes. And 3 is directly connected. We got 3 here. But not here. Why? And you're picking up D routes. You're picking up 1. You're picking up 2. Okay. Okay, that's okay, let's do this. Do show IP interface brief. Okay, first of all, no interface tunnel 1. No interface multi-link 1. Okay, clean that up a little bit. All right. What is going on? Okay, so do show 1 section router. Oh, you got all kinds of net configuration in here. So no router rip Okay, all right, and okay. I mean, I know it's not going to go because it's not coming to the routing table. Why isn't it coming into the routing table? I mean, these are the most ridiculous, weirdest problems I've been having lately. All right, so let's say do show IP. I mean, this is not a split horizon thing because it's a completely different interface. Do show run. Okay, let's do show run. I defaulted the interfaces, yo. So C1 1. No. Show run. Okay. Do show run interface serial 1.0. Do I have a distributor? It wouldn't even matter because it wasn't gonna do show run interface 011. Okay. Three is advertised to 2, but 2 won't send it to 1. Why? Okay. I'm just cleaning up the configs to get things off there that because none of this should be happening. All right, so 12.1. All right, and again, do show IP EIGRP interfaces. Okay, in neighbors, we got an adjacency there. Do show IP, EIGRP neighbors. Let's take a look at the entire running config. See if we see anything that's out of. Oh my god, will you stop doing that? Okay, alright. Once again, I've never experienced anything like this before. I don't know why this is coming out to be like this. It is bizarre. Um, okay, and this is just direct, and this has nothing to do with Split Horizon. Okay, but you know what? And I'm looking at the config. It's not. It has nothing to do with it. So there's no point in you putting this command in here. Okay, because I believe this is an interface command, and there's no point of me doing this. Okay, this it's not going out the same interface. Do show run interface. Do show run interface 010. What the hell? going on, yo? What the living hell? All of a sudden, router 2 is not sending the routes over, but it sends 2 over. See, that's the funny thing. It'll send 2 over, but it won't send the routes over the guys. And this is not the behavior of EIGRP. It's not that difficult. Okay. Wait a minute. Are you? Oh, okay. Oops. Okay, first of all, no interface. Loop back 3. I thought I actually put an interface 3. Didn't really matter. Neither one came up. IP. You know what? Just do this. Oh my God! Are you serious? All right, come on. Do reload. Okay, and you know what? I'm gonna do the same thing. I don't see anything with the configurations. I don't see any access lists that are blocking it. I don't see any distribute lists like I would see in old EIGRP configurations. I don't see any of that. So I'm gonna erase all the configs and just start from scratch, which you can't do in production. But I'm not seeing anything. in the show run. And like I said, I've never experienced this before. Never in my years of configuring EIGRP, this is a simple lab. I've never seen anything like this. Okay, not to mention the fact that we got the adjacencies, okay, set up. Um, and it's learning router one is learning routes from router two, but it's not learning them from router three, and we're just doing it in a daisy chain. Okay, we're not violating Split Horizon here. Okay, and it's acting like it is. It's acting like it's being violated, and it's not going out the same interface. So Split Horizon does not apply here. It's just weird that it sends the routes for two and not three. It's just weird. Okay, that's wrong. Um, this is wrong. I don't need this because this is only one connection. Router two has two connections. Okay, JC comes up. Okay, there's our 2 route. We gotta wait for this stupid ass TFTP server. Alright. Okay, let's go on to 3. That's not right. It's not 34. It's 23. And this is 23.2. Copy. Okay, I see my adjacency. Okay. I mean, okay, so here's the thing, all right? Here's the thing. Here's the reality. I can't tell you how many times I've been in this position where everything's configured right. Okay, so before you will actually do a reload, because like I said, there's nothing in there. Okay, there are times that even when I'm in production, I'll actually put a command in and it won't take. Okay, it'll even be in the configuration, but when you do show commands, it's not there. It's not enabled. Okay, sometimes you have to. Technically, what I should have did was do a no EIGRP and redo a EIGRP configuration, but oh, I'm sorry. I was not seeing anything wrong at all. Do ping 3.3.3.3. Okay, so all right. So like I said, nothing's changed in the configurations. All we did was erase the startup config, reapply the same configs, okay, and get everything up and running. All right. So now. This was not an IP address issue because I was getting adjacencies up and running between 2 and 3. Not to mention the fact 2 was pulling routes for 3. I don't know what was on. I don't understand between 1 and 2 what was happening. But me saying that, okay, as a beginner, a beginner networking person, the behavior that I just did with erasing the entire configs, that's by far default response to what you guys are going to do anyway. You're going to do that so many times, okay? It's going to drive you nuts. First of all, you're going to forget to actually erase the configs, and then when you start doing your new configs, you got all kinds of corrupted configs in there. But again, okay, in production, this is not something you would do, okay? And it's not something I normally do anymore because I like fixing the problem. But there was no problem sent. Me doing an erase like that, I would not have done so quickly. But you know, I mean, I was stumped. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I have no idea what was going on with there. But you erasing the startup config and rebooting the router on a regular basis, it's don't feel bad about that. That goes hand in hand, especially when you're just starting. Okay? Alright, so now let's take a look at this. Show IP EIGRP topology. Okay, so for loopback 1, for 3.3.3.3, there it is. I have a feasible distance of 128.256. So now, Come on. EIGRP. Okay, so for 3.3.3, now, okay, now let's stop right there. This is what it's supposed to look like. Now, yesterday in the other video, okay, which I'll have to go back and look at, wasn't we pulling on router, because we only have router 1 and router 2 hooked up. Weren't we pulling this administrative distance for loopback 2 on this router? That's what was happening. And I was questioning, why is the feasible distance the same as the other router? Okay? Yeah, it might be a loopback address, but that's not what's supposed to happen. Okay? So 3 is the feasible distance, okay, of this. Okay? Alright? Now, this is a feasible distance. This is what it learned from router 1. Okay? I mean router 3. So now let's say show IP EIGRP topology. Okay? Now 3.3.3.3, look, this is what it learned, okay, from router 2's feasible distance, and this is its distance, okay, because it added its metric to its feasible distance that it learned from router 2. That's how it's supposed to work. I have no idea why. Now, you got to understand something here, okay? First of all, router 1 and router 2 was connected, and this was the problem I was having as far as router 2 sending routes over to router 1. Maybe whatever config I had on there was corrupted. Who knows? Okay? The bottom line is this is how it's supposed to work. So, there is a feasible distance, okay, for router 3. When that route is shared to router 2, router 2 knows the feasible distance from router 3, but its distance is added onto its feasible distance it learned from 3 to get its own feasible distance. And this is what happens as routes are shared. I swear to God, I have to go back to that video. Okay, I know I'm not on drugs. I know that's what we saw, that the feasible distance was the same. And it actually questioned, did I forget something? Okay, am I missing something? Do I have to go back and relearn about feasible distance? Okay, so this is the point where I'm saying we're going to have the router tell us what's going on. Okay, apparently something was going on with the adjacencies between router 2 and 1, or, you know, I'm not even going to try to make some type of justification of why this was happening, but we even saw the routes not being shared across. So yeah, something's probably going on. You know, it's probably the fact that I just need to get new damn routers. Just, you know, chalk the money up for it, which I really do need to do. But like I said, I think we're gonna have a lot of weird scenarios in the future, and I hope not, because this is yeah, this is like the 4th or 5th time I said I've never seen this before, and that's a lot. I'm serious, because it's like almost every lesson, right? Okay, but no worries on that, because first of all, I can't tell you this is going to be the norm, man, because every time I said that I've seen that before, it is something I have not seen in 15 years of doing this. Okay, all right. So maybe maybe I'm lucky that all these weird things are happening. Maybe you're lucky to see all these weird things. Okay, maybe I'm in a time warp where I'm going nuts. Who knows? Either way, now you see what I was talking about, the feasible distance, why it was looking weird to me, why both routers had the same, the loopback was sitting on router 2, and they both had the same feasible distance of 128.256, which was weird to me. Okay, all right. Now maybe that's the number I saw. Okay, I still have to go back to that video, and I really don't want to, because I got to go find it and find out where it was happening at. But if you see it, And you just be like, Kyle, you're stupid. I mean, it's standing right there. That's not what was. That's not what was happening. I mean, it was. You were seeing something that wasn't there. Okay, but and it could be. Okay, it could be the fact that I was staring at this number. Okay, and that's all I was focusing on, and was not seeing this number. And trust me, that happens all the time. Okay, the more you do this stuff, the more this stuff blends together. I'm talking about timestamps and log files and things of that nature. That's why you always start to get in a habit of pulling it out of the terminal window and putting it in Notepad and doing a search for what you're looking for, because this output can really mess with you. Okay, and I'll be honest, I'm chalking it up to that's what was happening. Okay, I believe that the last video, I was seeing the 128 and not seeing the number on the left hand side. Okay, making it believe that they had the same feasible distance, but again, either way, but that EIGRP was not something that I was, going crazy over. I mean, I don't know. 3.3.3.3 could have been there the whole time. yo, I would like to tell you that as a expert, those dots aren't there, but I'm telling you, man, they never go away, man. Your eyes play tricks on you with this output. All right, so nonetheless, once again, we got it solved. A long ass video for something just to prove that. But we figured it out. We got it through. Be strong. Be determined. Be Cisco.